Okay, so we are going over in chapter 3 now of the book, and this is a single checker back, playing with or and against a single checker back. And so some of his other chapters, he gives them Tardieu gives a bunch of general guidelines, and then rarely even covers them in the example. So I'm not going to go over his general guidelines, but sort of give you my own. Um, With a single checker back, the basic idea is that um, the single checker, you can't anchor. So you're really left with racing as the game plan, ultimately anyway. And so the person opposing the single checker back is going to try to keep um, contain is going to try to contain the checker, keep it behind the prime or on the bar or something. Um,
Well,
so that's the basic idea. And then with it, single checker is going to try to escape uh, as soon as possible,
right.
barring other things to do. So here we've got a six play, and for white, and the question is, what does white do with it? Um, and any suggestions? Yeah,
Okay, who's first? No one.
that's your
All right.
job.
By default, there's two possibilities. You can either run or you can contain. So you're 2 pips. Let's see. You can easily calculate that you're 2 pips ahead in the race before you go, and therefore 11 pips ahead if you run into 20 shots. So that's one possibility. And the other possibility is containment. So if you contain, that means you leave the 24 checker where it is, and you bring 2 down from the bar. And my sense right now is there's no great threat against your checker on the 24 points. So if it were me, I'd bring 2 down from the bar, but I'm the idiot.
Okay. So Stu wants to bring two down. Um, any votes for running out? I think he did identify the two best plays. Um, but there's a big difference between running out and coming down. Okay.
I guess since you said that, go ahead, somebody's talking.
Um, no. Go ahead, Charlie.
Well, since you said you can't build an anchor in the opponent's board, then you got to run.
Yeah. Um, yeah. Well, that's right. Well, Stewart said you could contain, but and so he wants to bring two down. It is right to run here. Um, Despite giving your opponent 20 shots at you and having the better board. But there are a couple reasons why that you need to do this. Um, one is you're ahead in the race, and so you really want to race here. Also, black has the chance of sealing you off pretty soon by making the bar point, um, and closing you in, and so you need to run out right away. Um, don't know if we make the race worse. It's still running out, although it's not as bad. If you make it really bad, uh, it's still running out, but it's not as bad to do that. But yeah, the idea is that you're about to be closed in here, and so you need to get out. You have the six something to get out, and so it's time to get out. Look at it again. And the second best play It doesn't do, I'm still trying to, in that you want to look at the containment on the other side, the offensive, or well, in this case, your offensive side here. But you're really not containing anything here. In fact, you're putting a blot out there to be hit. And the 10-point is not great. The 2-point would be better. Or I'm sorry, the 11-point would be better. Or even better than that would be making some sort of inner board point that would extend the prime. And you just can't do that here. I'm just wondering if 6-2, how much 6-2 is better, because 6-2 would at least, okay, 6-2, you could at least come down and come up and not give the double shot. I was actually thinking of this play, and this is a little bit better than the 6-3 was. And here giving the double shot, which is now not 20, but you know, 24, 23 or 24 shots is even worse. So you're not happy about giving all these shots, but it's your best option. So yeah, so single check back is a little bit weird with things like this. I mean, normally you don't run out to a double shot, but you're sort of forced to here. Tardieu's succinct explanation for this is when your opponent's inner board is stronger, it's a good sign to lead before your opponent can take full advantage of it. I would describe that as unhelpful because one of the ways you take full advantage of is hitting you, and then you have trouble coming in from the bar. In addition, getting farther behind in the race. So I guess what he means is what I've said is, you know, he's got the potential to make the prime a better prime. So get out when you have the 6 to do it with. Okay. Next one. 6-4 to play. And what do we do with this?
My,
Stuart, you gonna volunteer again?
my thinking was 13-7 and 11-7.
So Charlie wants to make the bar prime.
Opinion, I mean, the plays are you can either run, you can either go to 14, you can prime, you can make the 7 as suggested. And you can attack, you can hit on the 3-point, and then I doubt if you make the 4-point. So those are the plays to consider, and I'll leave that to everybody else, having made such a ridiculous play in the first one.
Okay. So yeah, so let's look at it. Running out from the back. What's wrong with that? That's not the right play. By a lot. Well, I will tell you why. Then it's not the right play. Primarily because we're way behind in the race. We're down 25 pips, so why do we want to run? In order to catch up, we need to hit black or contain him. So that's not right. Making the bar point, it looks pretty good. It does contain the 4 prime. What's the drawback of that? Let's put it here.
Well, your opponent can escape with a 6.
Yeah, 6 and out, and he's up 15 pips. So 6 and out, other than well, he can hit, obviously, and that's be very bad, but 6-5 or 6-3 gives him a cube next time and tough take. But yeah, the 6 gets him out.
Mm-hmm.
The one that Stuart mentioned, hitting. So what are the advantages of this? Well, it puts black on the bar and doesn't, so now he doesn't have an easy escape. He's got some good numbers, 4-6 to come in and hit, or 3 to comes in and hits. But if we hit the 3, we're already behind in the race. So now we've got a chance to make an advanced anchor, and hit black back, possibly. So just put it there. And that turns out to be the right play. And frequently is when you have a single checker back and you're behind in the race like this, you really have to keep black from escaping. And often the best thing you've got is hit him loose. Here's the second best play, making the bar. That gives you a prime, but again, as Charlie mentioned, a 6 and you're out, and that's the end of that. This also extends the prime, but here the back part of the prime is better than the front at this point, although it'll come in handy to hit him. But you're also giving up direct shots with a 5. This is the running play, and again, that's just the wrong game plan. We're way behind in the race. You can't run out. Okay. The explanation for this is it says a stronger home board is the first clue that hitting loose may be the right play, taking away half your opponent's roll or preventing them from either escaping or building. So here, I didn't mention that, but yeah, we've got the better board. It's 5 point versus nothing. So that's, even though that's only 2 points, that's frequently enough to justify a loose hit. And it is, as in this case. Yeah, and then what I didn't mention is, black doesn't hit and can't come in with a 4 or something like that. You have the potential to extend the prime, or even to attack. If you get the proper rolls. See, also black has to blot it here. If black can't come in or can't move safely, it's possible to attack that. So that's something else too. Okay. Six 2 to play. What do we think of that one? Here we have this. We're playing with the single checker back. We're down 1 in the race. Well,
Well,
with a single checker back, we can always come out 24-16, leaving a double shot. We can play safe by 14-8, and either 2 up or 2 down.
yeah. You can bring 2 down. You can run into all that. You can bring a builder to the 5. Those are leaving the shot. Those are your plays.
Yeah.
Candidates.
Any strong opinion as to what to do?
Well, I'll listen rather than talk. Okay. Anybody?
You and Charlie, the only one speaking today.
Well, the opponent has an pretty open board. So if you run 24-16, and you get hit, you got, easy chance to get in.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, and what's the other thing here that's important that I mentioned before, but kind of key here. If you come out here, black rolls a 2 or 4, he's going to hit you. But what are the consequences of black rolling a 2 or 4 and hitting you?
uh,
Sometimes he rolls double twos.
Goodbye, mid. Right.
Yeah, but what I'm getting at is black's midpoint is stripped. So if black is going to hit you, he's going to give up his midpoint. And that's a serious problem when he's trying to bring 2 checkers back. So, there's a general idea that, well, if you got to leave a shot someplace, put it in front of a strip point, and that way black is, or your opponent is at least forced to give up a point. And in this case, that's kind of, that's an important concept. It's, here it's running. We're up 9 after the roll. If black hits us, he's going to break his point, which will really limit his ability to escape. It also prevents him from extending his prime, because with a 2 or 4, which he might make an inner board point, he needs to hit. Let's see what Tardieu has to say here. Play that pushes your opponents to break their midpoint while they still have checkers back is always worth a look. Again, that I wouldn't call that helpful. But you've got the single checker back or games to run. The second best play is to come down and step up. Now you've got the 6 to come out, so that there's something to be said for that play. And then 2 down is the safer play, although you're giving up a number of fly shots, I guess, the 6-4 and a 6-2 and a double 4. So you're giving up 5 fly shots, but you're also allowing black to possibly extend his prime or make an inner board point.
can you add a third checker to the 12 point and see what the move would be?
Yeah.
Same.
It's still the same, but in this case, the race is bigger. But this is no longer a blunder. This is just an error. Playing safely here.
Right, but the run is still the best.
The run is still the best, yeah.
So it really
So
doesn't matter.
now I wonder if let's see. We brought another checker back. Oops. I'm missing something. Oops. +1. This is where we were before. If we put ourselves like that, now we're behind in the race, and it's still right to come out. Yeah. So single checker back again. You're even here. You're behind in the race. It's right. I guess we're ahead after the roll, but effectively we can't do anything very constructive up front, so we need to come out when we get the chance. Okay.
I mean, so the point about the midpoint being 2 doesn't really matter.
Well, it mattered. It mattered somewhat. I mean, it was still right even when you had 3. Let's go back and look again.
Mhm.
So, okay, this one. This is right, but it's a blunder to not do it, to not come out. Here, it's still right, but it's no longer a blunder.
Right.
The alternate play is it's an error, and that's a fairly significant difference. So, yeah, I'm not sure what. And here we're racing even more because we're even farther up in the race. So the fact that this isn't going to strip the midpoint or isn't going to break the midpoint is offset by we're already way ahead of the race and we have a chance to come out, so. Kind of
Okay.
offsetting things there. Okay, so now we've got the single checker back.
How about my move 13-7, 11-7 again, because
Yeah.
there's
Well,
one.
yeah, now we can make the prime. And in this case, yet black is still here. Black has 3 checkers back. And so the prime, okay, black can come out with 6s, but he can't come out. You know, he can't. He comes out to a double shot with his back checker. What about 6, 24, 14?
Well, the opponent has a better board now, 3 points.
You think
Not,
black has a better board?
no, I mean, I'm just saying not the best board, but it has more points than before.
It has
It's
more points, yeah. But yeah, then that's true. But look at where the points are.
weak.
Yeah, it's not as yeah. He's got more points, but they're not strong points. So if we come in on this board, we come in the 4 or the 5, you know, his back checkers aren't particularly useful. So
But it seems like if you make that bar point, you can still get out fairly easily from the 24 point.
he can get out from the
Like,
3-point.
no, I mean your my back checker,
Oh, you're back to we can always step up and come out.
right?
We can't, we can't do a 6-5. It's not going to help us take it to safety.
Right.
But black is going to have a hard time containing us, given that he's got the deeper points. Okay, so the right play here is to make the prime.
Yay.
And the second best play is to run out. And anything else is a blunder. But the explanation here from Tardieu is a prime game is a long-term investment and will often pay dividends when your opponent has more checkers back. So yeah, so the prime, if black hedges a single checker here that like we saw before, it would not be right to make that prime. But with the 3 checkers back, you're gonna have a much more difficult time to hop over that. And again, also black has a 3-point board versus a 2, but black's points are deep. We should be able to come out at some point by either stepping up and over or coming out like we had before here. Okay. Last one for today. Six, 5.
That looks like a fairly easy one.
Yeah.
Stuart, what do you think? 24-18 and 8-3 hit?
I'm sorry. I'm busy doing something else at the moment.
Karen, what do you think? 24-18, 8-3 hit?
Thinking. The white will be 2 pips ahead after the play, but that certainly turns it into a race.
White will be 2 hips ahead.
But yeah, I think that's what I would do.
What's that?
And maybe hit him with the 5, yeah. 8 to 3.
Okay, and Charlie's right. The right play. So coming out, you make the anchor, and that's probably the first thing that you do. Although I guess you could come up to 18 to 13, and then maybe in, but yeah, come up, you make the anchor, and then you look for the 5. The race is more or less even. Black has a single checker back, so hitting him, and we have the better board. So it's often right in that case to hit your opponent. Again, black comes out with can escape with a 6 something. And we'd really not like that to happen. So all those things point to, making the anchor and hitting. The explanation here is a stronger inner board and a defensive anchor are 2 key factors in favor of a hitting game, which targets 3 key objectives: unbalancing your opponent, reinforcing your inner board, and building the prime. Okay, so yeah, unbalancing your opponent, that's why you're hitting. Keep him from doing something constructive on the other end, and prevent him from escaping his back checker. This could be the 3-point could be part of the prime, so that would be good. You might eventually be able to attack if you can make the 3-point and bring some other checkers in. So, all right, so that's it for today. Again, single checker back is kind of tricky. You do some odd things like hitting loose in odd spots and running into double shots, but that's what makes it worth a chapter, I guess, in the book. So, all right, let's.
It seemed like one of the themes was which side had the stronger inner board, even if it's something like this with just a 6 and a 5.
Yeah.
And then the other theme in general was don't leap out if you're behind in the race. And here at least you're slightly ahead of the place after the play.
Yeah. Well, and those are 2 common things. If you had the better board, that's a good sign to attack. That's the McGrail bold save criterion. And again, with the single checker back, you're kind of racing. So, if we have it, we want to race and come out, even if it's into a double shot. Sometimes, assuming the opponent doesn't have a strong board. So yeah, I mean, they're still, it's not completely divorced from regular theory, but it does lead to a few odd situations. Okay,